This is Brian, and you are listening to Perfectly Screwed Podcast. Hey everybody, this is Brian.
Jason.
And this is the Perfectly Screwed Podcast.
Welcome. This is the slight evening sounds of Brian Kennedy.
This is the soft, mellow jazz of my penis in your mouth. Please, listen as I play the skin flute.
Trombone.
Yeah, listen as I play the skin flute, then you just hear Kenny G coming in. Damn, I've never heard anybody play the skin flute like Kennedy.
No shit.
Okay. Okay. Now you know what's really weird? We still have 0 actual Patreons, and fuck them. Okay. I know. I've never put we have no Patreons, and a lot of people don't have many either.
Right.
Well, I don't understand unless you were just a diehard fucking fan of a podcast. Why you would pay for something that basically you can hear for your ads? You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
I mean,
yeah, I know. I don't know.
I mean, I don't mind the ads. You know, it's okay.
Yeah, I'm not trying to pay.
Yeah,
I can sit through them.
Right.
Rather than pay extra money.
Right. And well, on top of that, sometimes I think ads are actually good because I know I've listened to things on podcasts, and that's originally how I got Harry's Razors and got on Dollar Shave Club, found out about them way before they were in the stores, was from listening to them on podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, well, what the fuck is Harry's Razors? And then I ordered one. I was like, well, thank God I ordered Harry's Razors.
Oh, they're nice?
Oh, they're amazing. Best razor I ever had.
So do they send them to you every month? Or?
You can get them at Walmart now.
Okay.
But yeah, they used to send them to you every month, but now you can just buy them at the Walmart.
I got you.
But yeah, they're real good. They have an interesting. They weight the handle down on Harry's, so they're weighted handles, and they're 5 really sharp Swedish European blades, superior blades. Are amazing. Yeah, they're amazing. The only thing you gotta watch is you gotta take kind of slow because you'll cut the shit out of it.
Right. Oh yeah.
They're very, very sharp blades, so
right.
if you go quickly on your head and stuff, you'll just slice your head open.
How long does it last? How long until the blades get too?
Well, the only thing I shave is my head, clearly, and because I have a beard, so I don't shave my face. But
true.
So just shaving my head normally lasts me. Normally, I have a blade for about 3 or 4 weeks. 3 weeks, something like that.
Pretty good.
Yeah, and I shave my head at least twice a week. So yeah,
that's a lot of uses.
Yeah. If you were just using it for your face, you could use it for probably a month, just one blade. Yeah, they last forever.
Yeah, I just use disposables.
Me?
I get 2 uses and then I throw that motherfucker away, or it'll just start shredding my face to pieces.
Yeah, but why wouldn't you just get a regular razor? Because disposables are more expensive than buying blades.
I don't know.
Because, I mean...
I'm just not very thrifty.
You're one of those guys that go to the store and buy a pound of hamburger even though it costs 3 times as much as 5 pounds of hamburger.
Absolutely. Yeah,
right.
For sure.
Even though the 5 pounds would be cheaper, I don't need 5 pounds. I'm not going to freeze it.
I'm not a price checker, you know what I mean? I know what I want. I know what I need. I go grab it, and that's it.
Well, you're a single guy, too.
True.
So it's different.
It's very true.
Yeah. If you had a family and you had to feed a bunch of people on your paycheck, then yeah, you'd go... You look exactly at prices.
I'd probably have a Harry's Razor.
Yeah. Well, I just have it because there's no reason to me buying disposables. First of all, they're subpar, like you said.
Yeah, and you're not. You can't use a disposable to shave your head like you shave your head. They don't.
Oh yeah, you can.
You can, but they don't work very.
Yeah,
good.
when I was in jail and prison, when I used to be a bad boy 20 years ago. They gave you nothing but a 2-blade big disposable.
Right.
And I shaved my head with it. It was hell. You're right.
It's rough,
it's rough. But I. You know when you put that, yeah,
bleeding everywhere.
when you put that
Fucking
aqua,
checkerboard.
yeah, you put that aqua velva on your head afterwards. You know,
Ooh.
you're like, Jesus Christ,
Yeah.
motherfucker, I hate you all. but no, no, Harry's is amazing. They're like I said, they weight their handles, so the handle feels very secure in your hand.
Yeah.
Not like a disposable, it's just plastic piece of shit. It's like solid metal inside there with a rubber grip around it.
Oh, cool.
And their blades are fucking unreal.
Huh.
Because I used to be a Mach 3 guy and then, a Mach 5 or whatever they came up with Gillette. And I liked those for a while, but old Harry's was better. I liked old Harry razors. Old Harry's.
Well, Harry, he just really knows his way around a blade.
5 minutes and we've been talking about razors for 5 fucking
God
minutes.
damn.
If anybody lasts past the opening line of our podcast ever to get to the actual subject matter,
I'm real proud of him.
so am I.
I mean, shit.
Okay, I'm going to tell you what we're talking about. We might not talk about it right this second,
right?
But I'm going to give you what we're talking about today, so that way you don't turn us off, because I swear to you on everything, we're not going to talk about Harry's razors for an hour.
Although we probably could.
I don't know. Probably. I don't know. I don't think
it's hard telling where.
I don't think I could talk about Harry's for an hour. I could talk about razors for an hour, sure. I could talk about anything for an hour.
Right.
I mean, I could talk about the fucking swollen fucking gland on your ball sack for an hour. I mean, wait.
Interesting.
Is there a gland on a ball sack? No, just testicles and skin, right? Yeah. So none of that.
I don't know.
None of that made sense whatsoever.
I've never felt a gland out there.
No, not a gland anywhere. Not even a membrane. It's just two testicles in a sack.
Just scrotum.
Yeah, two testicles and skin. Right. So therefore, what I just said made absolutely no sense. Okay, back to the point. Okay, what we're going to talk about today, I'm going to sweep that one under a rug like I didn't just make a complete ignorant ass out of myself. We're talking about morons on the last episode, and here I am.
Would you just go ahead and say what we're talking about?
Villisca, Iowa.
Thank you.
Yeah. Villisca, Iowa. Actually, we're talking about the Villisca Axe Murder House, or the Villisca Axe... Villisca.
How do you spell
Axe
that?
Murders. Villisca. Exactly how it sounds, Villisca.
Okay.
At least I assume that's what it's called, because
that looks right to me.
Well, that does look
right.
right.
The drinking game right now.
What?
Now that we're trying to pronounce this weird word, you might want to.
Explain the drinking game. Yes, okay.
It's very, very.
For any new people that have never, ever, anybody who's never listened to the podcast before, I want to explain. We have a game here. And we started this game because we used to do really crazy shit, like make up Chinese people named Pokin and shit. And we stopped doing that. So we started this drinking game. Anyways.
I haven't talked to Pokin in a while.
No, we haven't done any of those moist fields in a minute. Yeah, I need to revitalize some of that. Oh, God. The TikToks I can make with Pokin. Anyways, there's a drinking game. And if I fuck up a word, which I have been known occasionally to stumble over my own tongue during a podcast and say things that are not quite correct. Sometimes they're not even words. Sometimes I don't know if they're even actual anything other than syllables strung together. But if I fuck up a word, it is required by all of us in the listening audience to take a shot. And I'm hoping that it's not of grain alcohol, because on some episodes you might kill yourself. There was one episode, I swear to God, if you were drinking 190, you would have been in a coma by the time you were done. I fucked up every other word going through there.
Yeah, that's going to be a rough morning for some.
Yeah. Well, I don't expect you, if you're on your daily commute, to play the drinking game.
I would hope not.
But you know what?
But to each their own.
I'm going to get into it. I'm not going to delay anymore. We had a 5-minute talk about razors, then a 4 minutes about the drink game. So let's get into the Villisca Axe Murders.
Okay, let's do it.
It is all in Villisca, Iowa that this happened, and it happened on June 10th, 1912.
That's in the southwest portion of Iowa for those out there trying to get a visual.
I'm sure there was a lot of our listeners out there who were thinking to themselves, I wonder where in Iowa Villisca is.
I know.
Yeah.
And that's why I answered the question.
I mean, one of... Unless... Okay, let me explain. The only people that care about what's going on in Iowa, I would assume, are people that live in Iowa. Because
And
really...
I don't think they even give a fuck.
Well, I'm sure they do, but... I mean, if you asked me, before I looked up this, if you had asked me anything about Iowa, I don't think I could have told you any random facts about Iowa. Anything?
No.
No.
I couldn't.
Like Indiana, we're known for a lot of famous shit. Like, you
Basketball.
know, James Dean, yeah, the Bobby Knight, you know, Garfield, all those. John Mellencamp, you know, so Indiana's known for things, and even Michigan's known for things. You know, different states are known for a lot of things. There's nothing about Nebraska, Iowa, any of those that people, yeah, I know about Iowa. You know, name a city in Iowa. I mean, if you don't live in Iowa. Yeah, other than Des Moines. Name one other one. I mean, that's only because that's the capital, and the only reason you know that is because they hammered that.
I had to know that, right? I don't know any other Iowa cities.
Because I swear to God, name one thing about Des Moines you know.
No.
Nothing, except that it's in Iowa.
Well, I'm just assuming it's French.
Okay. Okay, so on a quiet residential street in the small town of Villisca, Iowa. That's what this says, I swear to God. Sits an old white frame house. And it said that on a dark evening, there's no lights around this house. There's no street lights, which is interesting. But on a dark evening, you can hear sounds coming from this house. Visitors around this house, or people that live around this area, if you walk down the street near this house at night, you will hear people talking and moving around and walking through the house.
But there's nobody living in the house.
There's no, it's an historical landmark. They take tours through it. It's a museum, stuff like that.
Okay.
And the thing is, it's just like it was in 1912. There's still an outhouse out back, in the backyard, and they have there's a weather-beaten sign that hangs from the decrepit front porch that says this is the murder house. See, what happened was, in June 10th, 1912, the entire family of I almost did it. I almost said Joseph, and it's Josiah.
Right.
Josiah Moore and two overnight guests were bludgeoned to death on June 10th, 1912. And to this day, no one knows who the murderer is. So, let's see. Excuse me for coughing, I apologize. Okay, so Josiah B. and Sarah Moore own the house. And the house is in Villisca, Iowa in the United States. In 1912, there was a brutal murder of 8 people, including 6 children.
Wow.
Yeah, the house remains the murder remains.
Those two had 4 children of their own, and there was 2 other children staying the night with them, right?
Correct.
Okay.
For a total of 6 children, and the Sarah and Joseph, or just Joseph. I did say it. Shot. I didn't fuck up the word, but the name is Josiah. It's Josiah B. too. Sounds like a good Amish name.
Yeah,
Josiah B.
It does.
Yeah, Josiah B. Moore.
Is Josiah B. got any of that butter churn?
Yeah, Josiah B. Moore. Come over here and help us raise this barn.
Put on some deodorant, kid.
So they renovated the house in the 90s, and now it is the Villisca Axe Murder House, and people take tours of it. So yeah, you are right. It is in there. I see where you're showing there. It is in the bottom part of Iowa, kind of in the west side. For anybody who wants to go out to Iowa and go visit this place, it's at 508 East 2nd Street in Villisca, Iowa. And it was built in 1867. Now let's see. So Josiah bought the house in 1903, and he obviously lived there until 1912. It's funny because it says right here, I'm reading this, and it says he lived there until 1912, and quite clearly, obviously, he lived there. He didn't live there
any longer.
Yeah, somebody came in and bludgeoned the shit out of his head.
Not going to be able to stay here, sir.
Well, see, that's the other thing. Because they say he was bludgeoned, right?
Yeah.
That they were all bludgeoned to death. But it's an axe murder house. So when they say bludgeoned, are they talking about the blunt end of the axe? What they do? Hit him with the other side? Not the sharp side?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I'm guessing.
Because, I mean, bludgeon means you were hit with something heavy.
And you were
That's
bludgeoned.
blunt.
Yeah,
like a hammer or, statue or a ball bat. Normally, if you hit someone with an axe, that's not bludgeon, that's cut or split. So to be bludgeoned, what they do, hit them with the other
I'm
side?
assuming that the scene that it left made it look like they were bludgeoned. I don't know.
Well, I don't know. It said they had severe head wounds
I don't
inflicted with an axe.
Why would you be using an axe and not use the sharp end?
Well, it says they had severe head wounds inflicted with an axe.
Oh, okay. God, that's nuts.
The murders were reputedly so horrifying. I'm glad I got reputedly.
That's impressive.
Yeah, I know. That it said that they took the sinking of the RMS Titanic off the front page, which had just happened 2 months
Yeah,
earlier.
that had just happened in April.
So they said the murders were so bad that it totally made everybody forget about the Titanic.
Right? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
God, that's crazy.
So the house was built in 1868 on lot 310. After the murders, the house went through the possession of 8 people. It was most recently acquired by Darwin Lynn in 1994. Him and his wife restored the house to its original condition using exact replicas at the time of the murders.
Hey, it says right here
Go ahead.
that Josiah received more blows from the axe than any other victim. His face had been cut to such an extent that his eyes were missing.
Mm-hmm.
And it said that the killer or killers used the blade of the axe on Josiah while using the blunt end on the rest of the victims. So there would be your bludgeoning.
Oh, so they basically chopped Josiah's head in half.
Yeah, pretty much.
And then kind of hit the other ones with the...
Other end of the axe.
Yeah.
Wow.
With the other
That's
end.
crazy, man.
Holy shit. So you can stay here for $428 a night.
Jesus.
If you want to, I guess. That's what it says. It says $428 a night, so $500 a night if you want to stay at this house and
fucking
investigate
monthly
it.
mortgage payment. God damn.
Well, I mean, no, because that's what I was quoted around here to stay at that hostess house here. Was about
That's
$500.
good. That's true.
Yeah,
That's
for
true.
one night investigation.
Good point.
So they bought the house in 1994, and they were going to turn it into a historical museum. If you look at this house, it almost looks like a dollhouse. It has a little tiny simple layout. It looks like a little cozy farmhouse. So the Lindens wanted to revive the house and bring it back to its former glory. Glory.
So let's go to the
Former
judges.
glory.
Yes, that'll be a shot, everybody.
If anybody's playing the game right now, please feel free to take a shot while it's bring back to its former glory. Once upon a minute. night clearly as I had pondered weak and weary. And then an axe came throbbing through my head at Velisca.
Chopping my eyes.
Quoth the raven, nevermore. Oh, shit. They wanted to bring back its former glory. Oh. They wanted it to look like a time capsule and what domestic life was back for the average Midwestern family in the early 20th century. So, soon after the Lynns bought the home, a lot of paranormal investigators started to want to visit the house to commune with the ghosts. The couple at the time hadn't even heard about what had went on, but they soon realized that the little farmhouse, that it could make a lot of money because obviously it was pretty haunted. So they changed it, of course, to reflect the deep, dark history. So over a century ago, one terrible evening, somebody broke into Josiah B. Moore's house. Josiah B. Moore was 43 at the time. His wife, Sarah Moore, was 39. Their 4 children, Herman, 11, Catherine, 10, Arthur, 7, and Paul, 5, and their 2 young guests, Inna, 8, and Lena Stillinger was 12. They were all murdered in the house with an axe. Some of the most unsettling details was the sheer brutality of it. Including a hidden attic door, a door locked from the inside, and linens covering every window and mirror in the house. So see, yeah. There's some weird things that happened during this murder. Okay? Not only did he, like you said, he killed Josiah more brutally than any of them, but he killed all the kids and the wife. Then he locked the children in the attic from the inside. So how was the attic locked from the inside, and how did he get back out? That's the question. See what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Then he covered all the windows and all the mirrors in the house with sheets before leaving. So, yeah. Why?
Yeah, why the mirrors?
Right. Why the mirrors? Why the windows? Why the doors? Why is everything
I
covered
can
in...
understand covering windows because you don't want anybody to look in.
Well, no, it's a farmhouse. Look, no, come on now.
But mirrors?
Look, there would nobody be looking in. It's 1912.
I understand
And
that.
it's
Somebody could
Iowa.
look in.
What?
Obviously,
Their
somebody.
probably closest neighbor was probably 10 miles away. Right?
No, they weren't. They were right there. That's what it says. They were that's how they were. It was discovered.
Oh, yeah, it does say they're right there,
neighbor
you're right.
lady was worried because they didn't come out to do their morning chores.
Okay, so yeah, then I can see covering the windows.
Right.
But there was a hidden attic door locked from the inside.
That's weird.
With one of the kids in the attic, laid there. First of all, how did the body of the child that wasn't murdered there get inside the attic, have the door get locked from the inside, and you get out?
Didn't it say that they think that the killer was in the attic too, waiting on them to go to sleep? Because they found like cigarettes.
Yeah, they found cigarettes and whiskey. They think the killer had been hiding in the attic, possibly for days, came out after they were asleep, and murdered all. But the point is,
But then somebody gets back in the attic.
yeah, he took, after murdering one of the children, he took the child back to the attic. I think it was Catherine had said. I can't find it here, but I think it was Catherine had said. But he took her back to the attic. The door was locked from the inside. Catherine was in the attic dead, but she wasn't killed in the attic. She killed in her bed like everybody else. But then she was brought to the attic, and the door was locked from the inside.
Yeah, and like you said, how did he?
How did he get the fuck back out of the attic? Right.
I don't know. I don't. Why the fuck would he take him up? That's weird.
Now, the house has changed hands a few times, obviously, over the past 100 years or so. Well, 110 years now since that happened. But the ghostly encounters have been something that has been known about the house for a long time. There's always been stories since the people died of disembodied giggles, especially in the attic, like kids playing, screams, and unexplained movements of objects. And sometimes people will say they see a strange fog or mist moving from room to room.
Ooh, really?
And
These are people that have been
in the house.
like doing like a paranormal investigation.
Yeah, they're paranormal researchers have found many EVPs. They've gotten many orbs. They've seen the fogs, but visitors that just came in the middle of the day have seen it. They say anytime a train passes, you will see the fog moving from room to room. Also, some visitors, after they're in the house for a while, they start behaving strangely. And they start feeling like headaches, and they start talking in voices, some of them, that are not their own.
Really?
And a lot of people have said they've become possessed from being in the house for a very short time.
Shit. That sounds wild.
Yeah, that's what I said. I said that's insane. Today, it's a paranormal hotel where groups of 6 or fewer can pay $428 to stay overnight in the house.
Oh, it's not bad if you got 6 of you.
Yeah. There are no accommodations, though, so they say pack your own sleeping bags. But they also say you probably won't be getting much sleep. When
There's that much going on. That much?
Yeah.
Wow.
They said when you speak to Martha, you will speak to her only on the phone. She will tell you to come to her house. She will hand you the keys when you arrive, and then she will leave for the night.
That's the lady that
Owns it. She says she does not.
Go there.
She will not stay in that house at night, at all.
Wow.
She said she has never. She doesn't like to talk about her. Martha said she doesn't like to talk about her own ghost sightings in the house because she doesn't want to call her the experience of the guest. She did, however, share this comment when she was asked who she thinks the ghosts are. She said, "I feel like there is something there. Indeed, there are spirits. You have to realize that 6 of them are children. I don't know if the murderer still exists there, but there have been a few things that have happened that aren't exactly calming to me, but I don't like to dwell on it." So she's also said that she does not like to stay in the house at night or be in the house by herself. So
I can imagine.
she said things have happened in there that aren't calming, but she's not going to go into it. So what she's saying is some terrifying shit has happened in that house to her ass.
Yeah.
If you own a place and it's profitable, but you tell guests to come to your fucking house to get the key to go to that house because you don't want to go in the motherfucker, there's something in there you shouldn't be fucking with.
Yeah. That's why it's very intriguing.
Yeah. Now, a daytime tour is only $10 a person, though. So you can go through the house. They have tour guides that'll take you through the house.
Okay.
And daytime tours are $10 a person. Now, some people have seen some things in the daytime, but a lot of people say that they've seen a lot of stuff at night. And like I said, she refuses to stay at that house. Mm-hmm. Kind of like we were talking about that Gary Demon house before, and Zach Baggins' docudrama, which Zach Baggins is so full of shit, is unreal. Although he's brilliant. I think I'm gonna start doing docudramas.
Right?
Yeah, documentaries. But no, but it's like that. Yeah, it's like that Gary Demon House, man. People didn't want to stay there either. And be it just because the people were murdered, or be it because whatever it is, there is something. There is something in that house that causes the problems. And this happens at a lot of places. And see, this is going to lead into our second haunted story that I wanted to do. And this is the other one's a little more famous. And I think everybody knows it. Because we're also going to talk here in just a second about Waverly, which is do you know where Waverly is?
I've heard that.
Waverly Hills Sanitarium. I've been there. I don't even think they give tours anymore. I think they stopped giving tours. I don't know if they want to redo it or they just want to stop giving tours, but it's a sanitarium down in Kentucky. It's in Louisville.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've heard
it was a
name.
tuberculosis clinic and stuff like that. But Waverly's the same way, where a lot of people have been tortured or have died in a violent way. There seems to be like a spiritual energy associated with that place that is negative and positive in some ways. But let's roll right into Waverly then. Our second story is going to be the Waverly Hills Sanitarium, and a lot of podcasts have done this one. That's why I'm not doing a full episode on this one, and I figured it'd pair real well with the other one because they're both kind of short but kind of paranormal places, and they're both in the Midwest.
Okay.
And kind of in the southern Midwest too, because this is southern Iowa, this is northern Kentucky, about the same spot.
So how big is the hospital?
Oh, Waverly's fucking huge. There's a picture of it. I'll post it on our Facebook page.
Oh,
There's the front of it. Yeah, it's got awful.
Is it just one building though?
No, I think it's more than one building actually.
Okay.
But it opened in 1910 as a two-story hospital to accommodate 40 to 50 You know what that sounded like, Jason?
Sound like a shot.
Sounded like a shot to me. Yeah, tuberculosis patients. I can't believe I fucked up tuberculosis. I mean, that's an easy word. And I'm over here tuberculosis.
Especially because you had just said it, right?
I just said it 2 minutes ago, yeah. So, in the early 1900s, Jefferson County, where this sits in Louisville, was ravaged by an outbreak of tuberculosis known as the White Plague. Why's it got to be the White Plague, Jason? Huh? What the fuck? Huh?
Yeah, why can't it be the brown plague or the
Right.
red plague?
Why couldn't it be the green plague,
Blue.
motherfucker? Fuck you.
Yellow.
White plague.
What's the orange plague, man?
But that prompted the
Why is it
construction.
called the white plague?
Fuck if I know.
That's what they call tuberculosis?
Fuck if I know.
Oh, okay.
That's what it was called in this place in Jefferson County in Kentucky
Okay.
in the early 1900s.
Right.
That's all I can tell you.
Yeah.
But that prompted the construction of the new hospital, which was Waverly. And the hospital was closed in 1961 due to antibiotics drugs. That's another shot. Yeah, dude, I'm doing great this episode. I'm getting them this episode, buddy.
I think you've been pissed off here lately that our viewers haven't been getting fucking hammered.
I can't believe I couldn't say antibiotic.
He's completely left out of high.
I did. I said antibiotics. Antibiotics. Yeah,
Sounds like something
okay.
you give to a robot. Robot's not feeling well. Give him some antibiotics.
So in 1961, they came up with the antibiotic drug, streptomycin, which streptomycin was amazing because it killed and cured tuberculosis.
Okay.
And which, was a huge problem up until the 60s.
Mm-hmm.
So, in the early 1900s, if you got tuberculosis, you were just fucked, dog. I mean, there was no cure, there was no help. It's just like they put you in a hospital, so don't go around other people because you're going to die, motherfucker.
Yeah.
You're going to die. So the original plans in 1961, when they stopped the hospital from being a tuberculosis clinic, was to turn it into a hotel. And I don't know about you, but I always like to stay in hotels that used to be clinics for tuberculosis, where they tormented people.
That's
I
where
mean, that's where I like to stay. What
Whenever
about
I'm
you?
taking a trip anywhere,
Yeah.
I try to map my my route out by old tuberculosis hotels.
Yeah. Tuberculosis hotels. I also like abandoned old prisons, possibly a mental asylum where they killed people. You know, any of those.
Sure.
You know, where they did severe lobotomies.
You know, if there's anywhere that maybe like Hitler preached from, you know what I'm saying? I'd like
Yeah.
to stay there too.
Right.
So
Right. I would never want to just,
Holiday
stay.
Inn Express? No, I don't think so.
I don't want to stay at just your normal mental institution.
No.
I want the ones where they really put that dick to those mentally challenged women and really lobotomize the fuck out of them.
I want to go where they've tortured
Yeah.
souls for
Yeah.
no reason
Yeah.
whatsoever.
I want evil.
Sounds like a good, comforting night's sleep.
What was it? Oh my God, what was it? The guy who started the Satanic Church, did you know? It's completely random, guys, has nothing to do with Waverly, but the guy who started the Satanic Church, I can't remember his fucking name, and it's right on the tip of my tongue, too. It's amazing that I even know the guy who started the Satanic Church, but I digress. Did you know he was a consultant on Rosemary's Baby? Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, they got him as a consultant on old Rosemary's Baby. I was watching that the other day. But yeah, they were going to turn it into a hotel, but that didn't happen. Okay, the land today is known as Waverly Hill. Was purchased by Major Thomas H. Hayes in 1883 as the Hayes family home.
Anton LaVey was the
The
guy.
Anton LaVey, yes, LaVey. Thank you. I should have known that because it was fucking Crowley's mentor.
Yeah.
Yeah, Oster Crowley. His mentor was LaVey. Which if LaVey, I hope LaVey got what he wanted, because he's dead now. And I hope LaVey, got to eventually burn in hell with Satan. That was his hope, that was his dream. And it's good to live your dreams and fulfill what you really want. He really wanted to be tortured and burned in a lake of fire, and I hope
Hope you got his wish.
yeah. I myself don't believe in hell, so I'm guessing that he didn't, but and sometimes you just don't get what you want. But, you always get what you need. Anyways,
It's very true.
that's it, man.
Yes.
So in 1883, Major Thomas H. Hayes bought what is known as Waverly as his family home. Since the new home was far away from any existing school, Hayes decided to open up a local school for his daughters to attend. Must be nice to be rich like that. Because
Yeah.
you can just buy a house. There's no school near us, so you know what? Just build one. Okay.
Huh?
Get a teacher down here. Get this done. So he started a one-room schoolhouse on Page's Lane and hired Lizzie Lee Harris as the teacher. Due to Mrs. Harris's fondness for Walter Scott's Waverly novels, she named the schoolhouse Waverly School. Major Hayes liked the name, so he named his property Waverly Hill. The Board of Tuberculosis Hospitals kept the name when they bought the land and opened it as a sanitarium. So in the early 1900s, there was a bad tuberculosis outbreak in Louisville. At the time, because of all the wetlands along the Ohio River, which was perfect for tuberculosis bacteria. So the sanitarium was open, consisted of 2 stories, and it was an administrative main building and 2 open-air pavilions, each housing 20 patients for treatment of early cases. This brings me to an interesting point about tuberculosis hospitals. Did you hear what I said? Open air pavilion. Okay. So the house was the offices for the main people. The other people were outside in like a tent kind of area.
Okay.
Right. They didn't have an inside. They treated these tuberculosis people really bad. Basically, they just put them in a place where they couldn't get out, and then they kept them outside because they thought you being outside in the fresh air was great for your tuberculosis. So they would sit out there in the cold.
Yeah.
They'd be out there in the... You're right. They just...
Hey, fuck it.
Here's a sleeping bag.
Yeah, here you go.
There's a patio. We'll put a little tent over you so the rain don't get on you. You have a nice day, bud.
Break you up when you're dead.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah,
That's basically what it was. Just, so on August 31st, 1912, the tuberculosis patients for the city hospital were relocated temporarily to quarters and tents on the grounds of Waverly Hills, pending the completion of a hospital for advanced cases. So the advanced cases, they were building a ward for them. So, once you're really dying, then we'll bring you in, put you in a bed. Yeah, we'll make sure you're
warm.
good. Yeah, for those last few moments.
Right.
We'll make you feel
early
good.
tuberculosis, you're really fucked.
Yeah. Yeah, you just got it.
Sorry.
Got a lot of years of sleeping outside, baby.
Yeah. Go grab you a spot in the tent.
Yeah, go grab a cot outside, bud.
Gather some firewood up on your way. Jesus.
Jesus. So, in 1914, they finally added a children's pavilion. So there was an open air market for the children to go.
Oh, yeah, they gotta have their own place to play.
Yeah. And they added another 50 beds to the patio, making the capacity around 130 patients in open air pavilions.
Wow.
Yeah. The children's pavilion, though, was not only for sick children, but also for the children of tuberculosis patients who could not be cared for outside the facility of the facility otherwise. So, they would take healthy kids, but their parents had tuberculosis, so nobody could take care of them. So they'd bring the healthy kids in to an area where they knew for a fact those kids were going to get tuberculosis and die also.
We don't have nowhere else to put them.
We got nowhere else to put them. We're damn sure not clogging up the orphanages. You just bring them over here, they'll catch tuberculosis too, then everybody die. All right? The whole family's wiped out. We ain't got to worry about it.
Just throw
And you wonder why
over there in that lake
and
is
they
tuberculosis.
Yeah.
Tiny
They
babies.
wonder why places like this are haunted. That's
Right.
inhuman.
Right.
How are you going to let people with severe lung conditions just sit outside on cots until they die?
Right. When how are you going to
And we're
put
not-
healthy children alongside children that you know are sick?
And this is the other thing. We're not talking about Miami, Florida here. We're not talking about
No.
California or Texas or Arizona. We're talking about Louisville, fucking Kentucky, where it gets very, very cold.
Yeah.
In September and October, November,
Lots of
December.
snow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're out in an
Absolutely.
open air pavilion. Basically a big ass tent.
They couldn't have set up another tent for the healthy children? I don't understand that.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
fuck, guys.
I
Just comments. I don't know.
no, they just added them with the other sick ones.
Right. Jesus.
So the reports though were that they started adding buildings every year so they could get these people off the patio and get them inside a building.
So they were trying their best
well,
to get a roof over their head.
well, see, it kind of makes sense if you think about it, really. It's inhuman, yes, but at the same time, it makes complete sense. They had an outbreak of a very, very contagious disease. Okay. They had to somehow quarantine these people. They got this place pretty cheap, and it's a lot of land, but it only has one building. So they did kind of the best they could with what they had till they could build a proper hospital. You know?
I mean, that actually, yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
But like you said, you can understand why some place like this is haunted, man.
Yeah. Yeah. So, there was constant repairs on the wooden structures, and they constantly were updating it to make it a more durable structure, as well as the need for more beds so that people would not be turned away due to lack of space. So they constructed a 5-story building that could hold more than 400 patients.
Patience.
I fuck up patients. I said patients. So far, if you're counting, that's like 8 shots this episode.
Yeah,
I want you to know I'm not doing it on purpose, but god dang.
Have a little patience with it.
Have me a little patience. So they began this 5-story building in March 1924. The new building opened on October 17th, 1926. But then, after the introduction of streptomycin in 1943, the number of tuberculosis cases went down. And then in 1961, when it was readily available for everybody, it was pretty much, tuberculosis was done by 1961. So the remaining patients were sent away out of this because they didn't need a huge hospital anymore. So from 1943 to 1961, the patients kind of went downhill. And it was closed in 1961. It was reopened, though, in 1962 as a geriatric center, a nursing home treating aging patients with various stages of dementia and mobility limits, as well as severely mentally handicapped people. It was severely understaffed, severely overcrowded. There was lots of reports to the state of patient neglect, of horrible conditions, of the patients just left to lay in their beds. There was also allegations of abuse, which happens so much at these places, especially when you're dealing with dementia patients and, like they said, severely mentally handicapped. So you're dealing with very mentally handicapped people, and you're dealing with a very low staff, a very questionable staff in the 60s. You have very little staff. You don't know what's going on. There was rapes. There was, I'm assuming, tortures, and that's just the ones where they just left them to be, sitting there.
Yeah.
Like if you had Alzheimer's back in the 60s and dementia, and you were just staring at the ceiling, they'd just let you lay there in your own shit and piss. They didn't give a shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, they aren't going to change you because you're not bothering anybody. You're just like a fucking lump on a bed. They don't care. And they're getting paid just so you lay there. So they don't give a shit.
Right. Yeah, that's sad.
So this place was closed in 1982. And then developer J. Clifford Todd bought the hospital in 1983. He and an architect, Milton Thompson, wanted to convert it into a minimum security prison for the state. But they dropped the plans after the neighbors protested. They then proposed converting the hospital into apartments, but they couldn't do it because I guess they didn't have enough money to start the project or something like that. So in 1996, Robert Alberhasky brought. Well, that's a real word, so I don't know if that's really a shot. That's not what I meant to say, but he bought Waverly Hills and the surrounding area. And he started Christ the Redeemer Foundation Incorporated and made plans to construct the world's tallest statue of Jesus on the site of Waverly Hills.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Along with I'm sorry. Whew. Okay. Jesus. Jesus Christ statue. Okay.
The largest.
Well, yeah. Which was inspired by the fame of the Christ the Redeemer statue on the mountain in Rio de Janeiro. It was going to be designed by a local sculptor, Ed Hamilton, and architect Jasper Ward. The first phase was going to cost $4 million. And the statue would have been 150 feet tall and 150 feet wide.
Jesus.
And he was going to sit it on top of the roof of the sanitarium. The second phase would convert the sanitarium into a chapel. A chapel. What the fuck?
Chapel Hill? What is the capital of Kentucky?
Chapel. He was turning the motherfucker into a chapel, a theater, and a gift shop. You know the funny part? You know what's the funny part?
What?
He said he wanted to show Passion of the Christ continually on loop in the theater, even though it hadn't been made yet.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. Well, he knew it was coming.
But you know how much this would have cost? $8 million more.
Jesus. Are you kidding me?
So this motherfucker,
Trying to sink $12 million into this?
I'm saying you got to buy your way into heaven somehow. I mean,
Hey, man. You can't get
he's
there.
like, look, God,
You can't
look,
get there the good way.
look what I did. You see this? I built this 150-foot statue of your
How
son.
much does it cost?
Yeah,
Ridiculous.
I'm saying, I built a 150-foot statue. He'd be at the, watch, he's going to be at the pearly gates going, look, no, I got VIP status, motherfucker. You better check that list again,
$12
goddamn.
million, bro.
Hey, $12 million. See that 150-foot Jesus statue on top of Sanitarium? All me, bro. All me. Better ask somebody who you talking to. They know me
You
here.
better not turn me down.
Yeah, they know me here. You just open the gates, get out the way. All right?
They've been waiting for me.
You tell God Sanitarium boys here.
I'm the one that made the 150-foot version of the sun.
Okay. The plan to construct the religious icon fell through because donations to the project fell well short of the expectations. No shit. Short. No shit. You're going to look at your congregation. Okay, I can understand saying, look, guys, look, we got to come up with a couple grand, 10 grand here to put a roof on a church.
Right.
Okay,
That's understandable.
we'll get there. We'll do a bake sale, do some shit, we get a roof on church.
Wash some cars.
Right. But when you look at motherfuckers and say $8 million, and that's just to construct a chapel, and I'm going to build this 150-foot statue, that's another $4 million. We're talking $12 million, guys. That's what we got to come up with.
That's a lot of dollars in the offering.
Yeah, so within a year, he got 3,000.
Almost there! We're well on our way.
He was trying, and he was on this across the whole nation.
Wow.
I mean,
A real swindler.
yeah, he was trying for the whole year from 1996 until 1997. So this guy's probably still alive because this wasn't that long ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was trying this in 96 and 97. So the project was canceled in 97 after he only made $3,000.
Well short.
Not even close.
I mean, come on,
he
bro.
didn't even come up with $500,000.
Yeah, he didn't even make a dent.
Yeah, he didn't even come up with enough to build the toe for the Jesus statue.
We can just start the big toe. Just whopping $3,000. And then we'll make the rest of the toe next year.
It would have based on that rate.
We'll just have to go sandalless Jesus.
He made enough money to build a bobblehead Jesus on top of the sanitarium. That's what he had. He got enough to buy a 3D printer and make a little gift
If you're one of
shop.
the first 25 people into the sanitarium church, get your free bobblehead of Jesus.
Jiminy Christmas.
Wow.
Oh, so let's talk about the tunnel. The tunnel was an entrance and exit for the workers of the sanitarium. It was built on the first floor with the rest of the building. The corridor is 500 feet to the bottom of the hill. So it comes to the top of the sanitarium. The sanitarium is built on top of this hill. That's why it's called Waverly Hills.
Okay.
So they built a tunnel coming from the first floor all the way to the bottom of the hill so they could get in and out without, walking up and down the hill so they could bring the shit up to build the damn place. And has a set of stairs on one side, which were the stairs used for the workers. On the other side, there was a cart that moved up and down the staircase, which transported the supplies and other necessities. Since antibiotics did not exist in the time that the sanitarium was active, other forms of aid were used to treat TB patients. For example, heat lamps, fresh air, fresh
Well,
air
we know
in the
that.
fucking tent,
Yeah.
positive talk and reassurance. We got no way to cure you.
Yeah.
So what we're gonna do? We're gonna wear these full masks. And we're gonna come out here and we're gonna put you in tents outside, so you got fresh air, and then we're gonna get some heat lamps out here because it's the middle of winter, so we got to keep you warm.
Right.
Right. And then we're gonna talk to you and say it's all right.
Yeah,
John.
we're about to.
It's all right.
We're gonna make it
Just
okay.
think. Yeah, you can't breathe and you're dying, but just look at the positive side. It's snowing outside.
Winter only lasts 3 months. It'll be springtime before you know it.
The death rate of the TB patients at this time were 1 per day. Jesus.
Just at that place?
Yeah.
No shit.
Just at that place. Yeah, they were kicking off at 1 per day.
Wow.
However, at the peak of the disease, the sight of the dead being carried away in full view of all the other patients
Oh wow.
lowered the patient morale. Really? You don't say. You don't say.
It doesn't usually heighten it.
So, the sanitarium came up with a great idea. What's the best way to get rid of the dead bodies? Through the tunnel.
Of course.
Right. So they would dump them all in mining carts and reel them out to the tunnel to bury them on.
No shit.
Yeah.
Oh, so they're all buried. They're on the land?
No. They burned them.
Oh.
It also ended up helping to lower the disease spreading rate. Because, obviously, if you take the dead bodies out immediately, nobody else can get sick from them.
Yeah.
So,
Well, at least they were thinking.
yes. But see, this is the thing. And this is why we mentioned Waverly. Ghost hunters went to Waverly. A lot of people have went to Waverly. I've been to Waverly. And
When did you go?
years ago. Years and years ago.
Did you?
Fuck.
Did you see anything paranormal?
Oh, I
experience?
saw a lot of what you would call shadow people or black shadow
Really?
things moving. Yeah, you could see them. They crawl all over the walls, dude.
So was you there at night or?
No, they took a tour through. It's like middle of the day, like afternoonish.
Okay.
But they take you a tour. Actually, a tour. See, I don't know. I heard they're closing Waverly, which is sad because it was a great place to go and take a tour. It's huge. It takes like 3.5 hours to take this tour, dude. Or 4 hours. Huge fucking building, man.
Wow.
You're walking forever up and down stairs through corridors all over the place. But yeah, you do hear and see a lot of creepy ass shit.
Really?
Like you can hear things that I would probably describe as voices. Like almost like people talking like whispers. But you see a lot of those black things. Like out of the corner of your eye. Like you see movement, you'll look real quick and you'll kind of see a black shape, but it'll just like skitter and then stop. And you'll see shadows kind of move and like kind of pulsate. It's weird, yeah.
Mm.
And you get a weird feeling in Waverly. It's very, very oppressive when you go in the building.
Really?
It's very like, yeah, you can feel like real heaviness on you. And yeah, it's a crazy place to go. Like it's wild to walk through Waverly Sanitarium. But the thing is, like I said, I don't know. I heard that they were shutting it down for some reason. I don't know if the people like sold it or if it's just unsafe because it's getting so old. I mean, you got to figure this thing's 100 and something years old now.
Right.
But you got to figure. Look, first of all, it was a tuberculous. That is
You
the
have-
third time I fucked up that word.
You have butchered that word.
3 times in a row, 4 times now. Tuberculous. I just
It's
tuberculous
like a completely different
isn't-
disease.
isn't even close to a disease or a word. It's tuberculous. It sounds good though. It sounds like it could be.
It caught
I caught tuberculous.
It should be a disease. I told you shouldn't have fucked her.
Yeah, caught that tuberculous.
I knew he was gonna you get that tuberculosis?
Got the tuberculosis all over my genitals.
Let's go to Waverly. Drop you off with the other kids that don't have tuberculosis. You can stay in the tent with them, you son of a bitch.
I can't believe I just said tuberculosis.
I can't believe how drunk most of these people are. This episode has been.
Let me tell you something.
Holy shit.
If anybody is listening,
They're probably on their way to the liquor store as they ran out.
If anybody is listening to this episode and you are playing the game, you've got to be lit at this point.
Please,
You have got to be smoked.
Please
Yeah.
use Uber.
You are
Give
drunk
your
as
keys
shit.
to the nearest sober person you see, because there is no fucking way that you should be behind the wheel right now. You're gonna kill somebody.
Tuberculosis. You know what? I'm going to say it right now. Tuberculosis was so off that deserves a double shot.
can if you
That's a
want.
double shot. That's a double shot because that isn't even close to a word.
No.
That's not even close. That sounds like something in your body, like your gallbladder.
And you know what we should do is start like our own Brian Kennedy dictionary
Dictionary.
of insanely stupid words.
Tuberculosis.
But tuberculosis.
Tuberculosis. Yes. You see, I had a little indigestion, but then the doctor gave me an antacid and it took care of the tuberculosis.
Yes, it did.
Tuberculosis, an organ you don't need,
No.
kind of like your gallbladder.
No tuberculosis here.
That's right. I've had my tuberculosis out for years. Anyways,
I haven't been affected with tuberculosis since back there in '96. Had a huge bout with it. Sucked.
as much as I've been coughing, dude, I'm literally thinking to myself, man, I've had bronchitis for like 3 weeks, and I'm thinking to myself, man, I got some tuberculosis.
Yeah.
I got tuberculosis.
Dude, yeah. That's not no shit either. You've had this bronchitis
For about 3 weeks.
for a spell.
Ever since.
And you're not even smoking or nothing anymore.
Well, no, but I've only quit smoking for like 2 weeks, so. Well, I'm getting better though. I mean, the antibiotics helped me, and then I went to the doctor again. They gave me some shit, so.
Well, I'm glad they gave you antibiotics instead of the antibiotics, because
Yeah.
those never work.
No, not the antibiotics.
Unless you got tuberculosis, and then of course.
Yeah, antibiotics were growing on tuberculosis.
Right.
Yeah. But no, this was a tuberculosis clinic first. And they left these people outside in open air tents. That is rude and torturous enough. So that right there, you got people who
And what?
are feeling horrible about having this disease. Then they're outside freezing their ass off. They're treating them as best they can, but shit.
Yeah, well, like you said earlier, the reason that you can consider it torture is because we're not talking about fucking Arizona here.
Right.
We're talking
Yeah.
about goddamn
Louisville,
northern
Kentucky, yeah.
Kentucky, like
Yeah.
literally what, 2-3 hours south of where we are. Like the winters,
4.
winters are fucking brutal.
Oh yeah, brutal. Yeah. So even with heat lamps, it's not.
And then like even and unless it's what, maybe 2 months during the summer, like even at nighttime, if it's nice out, even at nighttime, it's gonna get down to brutally cold. And I'm guessing since they've already shoved them under these freaking open air tents that they don't have sufficient blanketing for everybody.
Well, I mean, you also got to think about this. They kind of had to be in open air tents because 1910, 1912, when this was happening, how were they heating? They were heating with oil or fire, right? Well, if you heat with coal or wood, and somebody has tuberculosis, you saw it.
I got you. I seen that.
Yeah.
That's not a shot there, folks.
No, I was doing that on
Unless
purpose.
you just don't care anymore.
Yeah, at this point, you're probably done with the bottle anyways. Okay. No, so, but if anybody does have tuberculosis, and, wood burning, coal burning, is not going to be good for their lungs. It's going to irritate them badly.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
being
that's a good
outside
point.
would be
Yeah.
the best. I mean, that would be the only fucking option.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Because, I mean, you would have to be outside in an open air tent to basically breathe. And, I mean,
To make sure that you're breathing
Right.
fresh air.
Well, hell, in 1910.
Crazy year.
1910.
That was a wild time back then.
I added a position that doesn't
Just
exist.
a zero, just not on the end, but right in the middle.
1910. That's what.
In the year 19,010.
20,000 years from now, tuberculosis.
Tuberculosis is back.
Tuberculosis is gonna take over like a motherfucker. Tuberculosis will kill every one of us. You've heard my predictions.
Fucking Nostradamus over here.
Look, somebody's gonna dig this up.
In 20,000
Yeah, in 20,000 years, find this and they're gonna be like, holy fucking shit! How do you know about tuberculosis?
Who was this Brian Kennedy?
How did he know about the tuberculosis?
I bet he erected the Georgia Guidestones too, son of a bitch.
And there's gonna be a disease by that time that they named tuberculosis. How did you know about the tuberculosis?
Yeah.
How did he know back then? Wow. He was a genius.
You'll be like there'll be shows on History Channel like right now. It's like the Nostradamus effect.
I'll be the Buddha of
the
1901.
Brian Kennedy effect. Yeah.
It was the Brian Kennedy. He came up with the four traits. The four traits of Kennedyism.
Anton LaVey, Aleister Crowley, Brian Kennedy.
Did Brian Kennedy actually make tuberculosis?
Was Brian Kennedy also David Koresh?
Did tuberculosis really come from the environment, or did it come from Brian Kennedy?
Next on History.
Look into the mystery of tuberculosis and Brian Kennedy.
We should start the
connection?
Future Channel. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
here's what's going to be happening in the year 19,010.
Why not? They've always fucked it up before.
Well, true.
I'm still waiting on my flying card, you bastard.
Right. Jetsons.
I was supposed to have it in
Jetsons
19...
were full of shit, man.
Look, I was supposed to have that shit in 1980. You go back to the World's Fair, it was sad. I was supposed to be able to travel to Mars by 1980, and these motherfuckers lied to me.
Right.
It's 2022, and I can't travel to Wyoming, much less to Mars.
Bastard. No shit.
But back to Waverly. But when you've got this kind of suffering going on to start with, okay, and then the place becomes a severely non-taking care of mental ward. Okay, a mental hospital that also was housing basically nothing but dementia, Alzheimer's patients, and mentally handicapped people. Severely understaffed. Overcrowded, and nobody was taking care of these people. They were just basically sitting in there letting them die.
Yeah, and like you said, there's obviously probably torture and rape.
Well, there was reports
and
of
that's not even like including, like you said, there's however many people they just let lay there. In
Well,
film.
there was reports of that, and how many of them were not reported?
Yeah.
How many of them nobody reported?
A lot.
You know, how many of those dementia patients that didn't even know what was going
Yeah.
on were raped? You know? Or just for shits and giggles, you know, psychiatrists back then weren't the nicest people in the world. They did some shitty shit to people.
Yeah, they did.
I mean, they electroshocked, they did water baths, they did some crazy ass shit thinking that would cure mental illness, and it didn't. So yeah, then you have all of this torment going on for a lot of years, from what, 62 to 83? Mm-hmm. That's a long time. That's like 20 years, man, of them fucking torturing people. Okay? So you got all that. Of course there's going to be paranormal activity. I mean, there's so much torture and pain there.
So much negative energy.
Yeah. You have so much negative energy in that place. How could it not be haunted?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, it hit you right when you walked in.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's interesting. A lot of these negative places, like severely negative places, prisons, sanitariums, old mental hospitals like this, you see a lot of those black, shadowy figuring creatures. And a lot of people have said that those, and we're going to do an episode on those eventually, but the shadow people. But we mentioned them before.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of people say that the pain, they're drawn to it. Like they like it. Like they latch onto it. So
Mm-hmm.
like they almost feed off of it. Yeah. So these beings are like almost like evil like entities that just love being around where a lot of pain went on. You know what I'm saying? They just
Sure.
kind of congregate there like a beacon for them.
Well, it's possible that they're being like that. It's negative energy to us,
Yeah.
right? But to them, it's not. To them, it's
Well,
to
yeah.
them it would be positive energy because it's what they need to survive. They feed off of it.
Well, if you
So-
think about it, everything, be it everything that you consider evil or good is just basically based on perspective.
Mhm.
Like, okay, we consider it wrong and evil if you kill another human being. But to a lion, he doesn't give a shit if you die.
Mhm.
So to him, that's not evil. He doesn't give a fuck. To
Right.
him, if you killed one of his people, that would be evil. But to us, that might just be eating. You know? I'm sure cows don't think it's really nice that we go around making them into hamburgers.
No.
I mean, if they think,
Right.
which in my experience, most cows seem pretty stupid, so probably not. But
True.
say they have a higher intelligence, they probably would think that was pretty fucking rude of us. So to them, we're evil. But to us, we're just eating.
Right.
So to say beings like this are evil, it's only evil based on your perspective. To them, that might just be the food they consume.
Exactly.
You know? Just because you consider that evil doesn't mean they do. To them, that's nothing. That's normal.
Doesn't make it evil.
No. Evil is based upon your opinions.
Mm-hmm.
That's why, that's why I've always said there's nothing wrong necessarily with Christianity. It's a good religion. And people who believe Christianity, it's a good way to live your life. It really is. It's a good set of rules to have. Because really the basic principles of Christianity are decent principles, you know. Don't kill people, don't hurt people, be nice to people, But if you look at it, that's the basic principles of most religions.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely.
It's kind of a reoccurring theme.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I don't understand why so many religions fight. Because basically y'all say the same fucking thing.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
What are you
It comes
pissed
down
about?
to a couple little different.
You guys are
points.
fighting about dumb shit.
Mm-hmm.
You guys alter on such little things.
Mm-hmm.
Like your traditions on how you worship God is a little different than their traditions. But you're worshiping the same fucking God, you dumbass. Or the same being, or the same light, or the same whatever.
And by fighting another religion means that you believe that yours is right and theirs is wrong. Theirs is wrong. And that right there within itself, to me, you're abusing the religion in what it was meant for in the
Well,
first
yeah,
fucking
you're-
place.
you're not-
Because it wasn't meant to divide and fight somebody
No.
else because they don't
No.
believe what you believe.
No, in fact, the main premise of most religions is do not hurt other people.
Sure.
Period.
Absolutely.
Right. Christianity, first one, do not kill.
Right.
That's right off the bat there, buddy. I
Do
mean,
not kill and do not fuck somebody else's wife.
there we go.
Hey.
Why? Because
Evan.
you know why? Because if you do number 2, you might have number 1 done to you.
Exactly. Exactly. They're hand in hand.
You're right. If you do number 2, please see number 1.
Refer back.
Right.
You're dead, motherfucker.
Right. I'm gonna take this large rock and I'm gonna beat you in the head so you can never fuck my wife again.
Yeah.
A lot of desert and a lot of places you can fall. I mean,
She's not safe either, sir.
the actual first sin ever committed was murder. It was when supposedly Cain killed Abel, if you believe that.
Right.
Which, is what have you. Actually, that's interesting too because that original story, the Garden of Eden and the Cain and Abel thing, different names, but pretty much in every religion also.
Mm-hmm.
See, there's a few things that you can't really dispute because a lot of religions kind of have the same thing.
yeah.
Like, there was a flood, clearly.
Right, yeah.
Clearly. Because every religious text there is talks about the flood. Now, there's a different guy who survived it in every religion, but it still was a flood.
Yeah, same basic story.
Yeah,
structure.
basically the earth flooded, is what it's saying. Also, the original story of Adam and Eve, even though they changed the names and stuff, it's kind of basically the same story in every religion. There was two people, they started, and then two brothers, and they one of them killed the other one. Basic same story. That's why I don't get it. I really don't. Islam, Christianity. I mean, y'all pretty much have the same story. You just differ on a few things, and really,
Yeah, and you guys run around here fucking killing each other over it, and you're just discarding the whole thing anyway.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Well, it's interesting that people have discord in religion and argue about it when religion should be about harmony.
Yep.
Right.
Coming together,
Right.
unity.
I mean, do you really think only Baptists are going to heaven?
Right, exactly.
Are you that self-centered? Really?
And the problem is,
God
a lot of
only
them
loves
are.
you?
Like you was talking about
Yeah.
earlier. A lot of people are like that. You know what I mean? Like,
Right. And what's
there is a beginning, and there will be an end.
There will. There's a beginning and end to everything. No, this is the other thing. How is it that religious people try to deny paranormal stuff? This is why I was bringing up religion.
Yeah.
They try to deny paranormal things when not only is it clearly there, but it's in the Bible, man. It says, do not talk to spirits of the dead. Do not talk to witches who communicate with the dead. Now, if it says it in the Bible that witches are communicating with the dead, and you say you're a Christian, okay, so you believe what the Bible says, right? So how can you say that the dead aren't around if it clearly says it in the
They're all
Bible?
Right.
I mean, if it says the witches can commune with evil spirits, and that's the other thing, there's a difference in the Bible when it says demons. Like, think about it. It calls demons, or servants of Satan, or what, but it references them different than evil spirits. It also talks about evil spirits. So what are evil spirits? They're not demons, but they're clearly a different thing than a demon.
Yeah, and they're not human.
Right. And they might have been once.
So basically, it's not just talking about paranormal. It's talking about like different types
Yeah.
of paranormal.
Right.
Yeah.
It's saying there's evil spirits. It says they can
And
talk to
there's
dead
demons,
spirits.
and
There's demons.
And
There's
other words
Right.
they use for
and they talk about many other different spirits in the Bible. And there was that one chick, she was consumed by demons and spirits. It said she was talking about spirits and demons, and she could divine stones and read the future and all this. If it says all of that, and you're a Christian, how can you turn around and say that you don't believe in psychics and mediums and all of this shit? Because it clearly says that they exist and that they can do what they said. It's just, it's illogical as hell.
They just pick and choose what they
Yeah,
want.
they do.
And
That's
then
the
And then when
problem.
you point it out to them, like you said in the Bible, then they pick and choose what the Word of God really is. Well, he didn't mean that.
Well, that's what I find humorous too. That you are so narcissistic that you believe that is the only word of God.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
And you believe that
Like you
God.
sit around writing in English.
Right. And you believe God, the most powerful creator of the whole entire universe, would take the time to denote to you little human beings about his plan in life.
Right.
Because you're so important
Yeah.
in this billions of worlds and galaxies that God took so much time out of all the busy shit that he's doing. Because if he's God and if you're right, he's controlling the whole universe. Okay, he's got a lot of shit on his plate.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit of things to do. But he's got time to take out just to tell you about what's going on.
Sure.
Because he cares so much about this planet compared to the other 10 trillion that are in the freaking
For
universe.
you to take that and then to just go around the world and just absolutely murder anybody that don't believe it. Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, I'm sure that's what he wanted.
Yeah, of course.
I bet he would probably be more apt to want a fucking 150-foot Jesus statue than that.
I would think so.
Yeah.
No, it's just it's ridiculous as hell.
It is.
Look, there are trillions and trillions and trillions of planets. If you believe in a God, he's got a lot of shit to do. Now, maybe he can talk to you, maybe he can listen to you, maybe he can. Okay, I'll give you that. He might have more powers, way more powers than me. And if you think about it in like the ant farm scale, like we've said before, you got a little ant farm, you got a big God, he can see everything goes on.
Right.
So I'll give you that. So maybe he's listening to you. But do you think he really cares about every little damn thing? I think most of the time he's like, look, man,
Yeah, I don't give a fuck.
I got a lot of shit to do here, bro.
Believe what you want to believe.
No, going back, no, it makes more sense that you're reincarnated and that you go back to God's, source and all of that. That makes way more sense. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And hell, you could be reincarnated on a different planet for all I know.
Sure.
Right. But that makes way more sense. But anyways, we're going to end this now. Hope you guys liked it. This has been, I don't know, episode something and another. Who fucking...
Whenever we put it out there.
Yeah, whenever I fucking release it. I haven't got there yet. But this was Waverly, and what did we talk about? Villisca, Iowa? Villisca, Iowa?
Axe murder.
Yeah, the axe murders. So I hope you guys enjoyed it, and we will see you next time.